In just a couple days here in Minnesota, crypto kiosks will become illegal. Crypto kiosks are ATM-like machines that let users convert cash into cryptocurrency, and they've become a big problem when it comes to scams. So here to talk all about it, what they are and what this law may do is Harry Maugans, Privacy Bee CEO. Harry, thanks for coming back on the show. Always a pleasure to have you.
Always a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Okay, so talk to me about these crypto ATMs. I've never encountered one myself, never used one, of course. What are they?
They're getting pretty popular now. So when crypto really hit its rise a couple years ago and started becoming more mainstream, there was a big push to build trust. So a handful of companies went the physical route where they built these machines, allowing people, especially the unbanked people who don't have traditional bank accounts, to go into a convenience store or a gas station, take cash and convert it to cryptocurrency, or take cryptocurrency and withdraw it as cash. So it's like an ATM for the crypto world.
So how did they become a target by scammers?
It's new. And whenever there's something new, scammers try to find a way to exploit it. What you're seeing now is, especially the older demographics being targeted. So somebody like a grandfather might be scammed by a person saying your grandchild is in jail and they need bail money. So you have to scan this QR code, go to this ATM and deposit $2,000 or whatnot by a certain date, or they'll be arraigned. Some kind of connection where it creates urgency, which is usually a tell. And because it's not something that person's very familiar with, going somewhere physical does instill trust. It's not some app or mysterious website. It's an actual physical thing. You show up and it feels legitimate, even though it's unknown. And the scams are exploding. I mean, last year they were up 58%, and it's $388 million lost to crypto scams just in the last year. It's incredible.
And something about these crypto kiosks makes it really hard to recover your money, from what I read. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah, there was an attempted legislation in 2024 where they were trying to curtail that and have some refund or clawbacks that weren't very effective, as well as some disclaimers trying to warn people about the scams before it's too late. We've seen an increase in scams, not a decrease, so I don't think that's effective. And then once somebody converts their cash to cryptocurrency, the decentralized nature of the crypto network is one of the reasons it's so difficult to reclaim or claw back the money. So if you're using a traditional bank and you send a wire or an ACH transfer, there's a paper trail. It's connected to your accounts. You have your identity tied to the accounts. It's a lot more traceable, and oftentimes, not always, but oftentimes there's recourse. With crypto, once it hits that ecosystem, it's extremely rare or impossible to get your money back, which is why it's a crowd favorite for scammers.
The FBI says that Americans lost more than $388 million to crypto ATM scams in 2025. So I'm wondering, is there a national push to ban these? Because clearly that sounds like a problem.
I believe 4 states have already enacted the same legislation banning them. I'm not familiar with any national push. I don't think it's being circulated. At least I haven't heard of it. The bigger risk, though, is not just the ATMs themselves, but I think one of it's the demographic side of it. Because of the $388 million you mentioned, $302 million of that was scammed targeting people over 50 years old. So there's definitely a demographic component. I mean, that's the vast majority of the money that was stolen. And and being aware of that, it might be a less common technology to certain generations. There is that age element that is where the majority of people and the scammers are targeting. So I think a national push might be what's needed. I don't know.
Interesting. What will the law actually do? So starting August 1st, these ATMs are banned. What does that mean? What does banned mean? What is this new law put into effect?
Sure. So August 1st, you show up at this physical ATM. It looks kind of like a normal cash ATM. It just is tailored for crypto. Obviously, it has all kinds of different signage and the logos around cryptocurrency. When you show up to the ATM after August 1st, it won't work anymore. It's going to have an error message or it's going to be unplugged. It has to go dark by August 1st. And then the second step is by the end of the year, by December 31st, every physical cryptocurrency ATM has to be physically removed and hauled off site. So we shouldn't see any more of them next year.
Yeah, it'll be illegal for them to be operated, installed, maintained, or available anywhere in Minnesota. So they should be completely physically gone by December 31st, like you said. But legitimate cryptocurrency transactions can still be made in Minnesota, right?
Absolutely. A cryptocurrency is not being attacked here. Crypto's a thing. It's popular. It has a lot of legitimate use cases. The challenge is this is the getaway car being targeted, not the actual bank, right? Crypto is you can still go to the websites, you can still connect your bank account, you can make transactions online. The challenge is the ATM is an unusual bridge between a legitimate currency and a channel that's so commonly used for scams that there's more abuse than legitimate need. So that's pushed lawmakers to take action against the ATM. But it's not crypto going away, it's just the ATMs.
So if you're interested in getting some cryptocurrency, I mean, how do you go about that if these ATMs are gone? Can you go to your regular bank branch? Do you have to go online? Do you have to mine them? I mean, how will it work?
Mining is complicated. It takes a lot of equipment. So it's primarily going to a crypto exchange. Some banks have dabbled with that. Normally, it's a name you hear like Coinbase. There are certain stock trading companies like Robinhood recently, a couple years ago, launched a crypto component so you can buy and sell stocks or equities as well as cryptocurrency in one place. Usually it's going to be some website or platform or exchange. I know, I think Kraken was one that did a lot of World Cup sponsorship this year. So they're out there.
Okay, great. I want to switch gears here because also happening in Minnesota this past week, more than 30 Minnesota municipal water systems were targeted in a coordinated cyber attack, prompting an FBI investigation. Now, a report from the New York Times claims Iran was possibly behind the cyber attack. Can you just touch on this for me? How does someone hack a municipal water system?
It's unfortunately easier than you'd think. If you're trying to hack a
Okay, I can't hear Harry, so I don't know if that was his mic, because I'm sure he had something really interesting to say. Let's see if he can get his mic fixed, because I really want to hear what he has to say about these municipal water. Oh, I heard him. There we go. Okay, bring Harry back on, because I wasn't done with him. We didn't hear your answer at all. So my question was that these municipal water plants were targeted, about 30 of them in Minnesota. How does this happen? How can there be a cyber attack on a water facility?
Sure. So it's unfortunately easier than you would think. A lot of major companies or banks have an army of cybersecurity and defense people and all kinds of software and firewalls. Water municipalities and a lot of government organizations don't have that kind of budget. So it's usually, one or two people or some large contract where they have a small piece of it. They don't have the same defenses. And the impact, if a nation state like Iran can compromise it, it's going to create mass distress. It's going to create a lot of chaos. So the target value is higher while the defenses are lower. It's the exact same reason that you have hacking groups like Shiny Hunters that are targeting, education and universities or hospitals. Even hospitals are a little harder, but the higher volume school systems with the ability to create a lot of chaos and tight budgets make them ripe targets.
Yeah, we've talked about this before with you when it comes to schools and universities. Soft targets is what we would call them. After all this, we've seen schools being targeted, now water facilities, government organizations, soft targets. Why aren't government organizations hardening their cybersecurity software?
Well, it's hard. Budgets are being cut everywhere, and a lot of it comes down to money. The defensive capabilities to hold back a lot of these attacks do exist. There are some absolutely incredible cybersecurity companies out there. The downside is they're very expensive. So getting that budgetary approval is usually after a major breach or after a major incident, not before. It's like taking vitamins versus going to the doctor after you're sick. So unfortunately, the priority is, if they have to choose to invest in a lot more vitamins or invest in their core, pipelines for water or anything related to their direct responsibilities, cybersecurity often gets the back seat. And obviously, as AI is growing too on the offensive front, these attacks are only growing in frequency and growing in success rates. So we have kind of a battle and they're at odds where the budgets are shrinking for defense and the effectiveness and scale of the attacks are increasing, which is going to create some pretty turbulent next couple of years.
So interesting. Harry Maugans from Privacy Bee. I so appreciate you joining the show.
Thank you for having me.
All right, that was Harry Maugans talking about the crypto kiosk ban that will go into effect here in Minnesota August 1st, as well as the cybersecurity attack on municipal water systems here in Minnesota that occurred this last week.